Hey, gluten-free badass! How are you today? I hope you are well, and it is fall. It is officially, well, it'll be officially fall soon, but it feels like fall. And I know many of us feel there's some controversy around pumpkin spice or not pumpkin spice, and we are going to dispel all of that. And we are simply going to deal with butterscotch. Butterscotch oatmeal cookies. Oh, they just warm the heart and the soul as the evenings start to get a little cool. All right, so the challenge with oatmeal cookies is because you have to have the right balance of flours and oatmeal, they often can either be hard as a rock or completely crumbly and fall apart. So we are going to make the ones that are perfect, tender, delicious, and melt in your mouth, but don't fall apart in your hand. All right, are we ready? Let's go. All right, so to begin with, whenever you are baking gluten-free cookies, there really is no room for error. And so you've got to use a nice little digital scale. You can get one of those on Amazon or Target or wherever you wish, but they are essential because you're gonna have to measure to the exact gram. All right, so let's start with butter. Let's do unsalted butter. That's always better because then you get to control how much salt you put in it. And then we want sugar. And because gluten is actually made of water, it helps retain water in your baked goods. And since we don't have any gluten in our gluten-free cookies, we need to add some moisture. And particularly, we have to add moisture that really wants to stay in the cookie. So we are going to be using granulated sugar, dark brown sugar, and light brown sugar. And actually, one more, the big secret ingredient as well, is honey. We actually get our honey here by local bee makers, or honey makers with their own bees in Oak Creek. And this is fascinating to me, okay? So Oak Creek, it's I think a relatively, small, mid-sized, wonderful suburb that we live in. And they have their hives in 3 different places in the city. Okay, so let's start this. I'll tell you more about this exciting bee story. What we're gonna do is we're gonna blend this. Again, we need precision. We're only gonna blend this for 15 seconds. We're gonna scrape, and then we're gonna blend it for 15 more. All right, so let's get that at a nice medium speed. So while that's going, yeah, take a look at that. Honestly, I think I always like eating the batter at the end, but I also like eating it at the beginning when there's just the sugar and the butter. That's a treat into itself. Okay, so these bees are hanging out, making honey for us in 3 different parts of Oak Creek. And here's what I find so fascinating. One set of hives in one part of town creates honey that has like a mint flavor to it. One other one produces one that's a very dark honey, and one produces the third one produces a mild honey. That's the one we use. So it's kind of like wine, right? Wherever it's grown, it gets its special flavors just from that area. And this is just in some wonderful small town in Wisconsin. So I really thought that was neat, that whole concept applies here as well. All right. So an important thing here with our batter, and I really want you to see this, is it needs to be thick, okay? If you were making these cookies with regular gluten flour, you would actually beat this 2 to 3 minutes. You want it as fluffy as possible. We do not, because we don't want to use xanthan gum. And so we're going to make this as thick as possible so that it really holds together after it's baked. All right, now that we have that in, we want our eggs. Yay. And we also want vanilla. Vanilla is good at all times of the year, but particularly in fall. And let us give this another 15 seconds, scrape, and then 15 seconds after that. All right. Good job. Thank you, Andrew. Letting everyone see that. All right, so what recipes are signal fall to you? What are the ones where you're just like, I must have that now as the leaves are changing color? For me, any sort of braised French stew. I've got this pork and sage and apple recipe that is amazing, which perhaps we have to make together soon, I would think. All right, so now we're gonna do 15 more seconds. And there we go. Now, here is some of the secret ingredients so we get all our proportions right. All right, so we have got our usual wonderful mixture of white rice flour, brown rice flour, and almond flour. As we know, these the brown and white flours can be a little gritty. The almond flour softens it up, which is wonderful, and we put enough in so that it is soft, but not so much that we think we're eating an almond butterscotch oatmeal cookie. So we pour those in with our oats. Also, we are going with purity grown oats, which means they are much more likely to be gluten-free. I just accidentally happened to stick my finger in the honey. I might have to do that again later. We add our salt, our cinnamon, and our baking soda. The cinnamon really gives it a wonderful taste. Ooh, Caitlin, really, zucchini bread and zucchini cookies? Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. I've had zucchini bread. I have not had zucchini cookies. Catherine, how do you feel about that batter? You like it at this stage now, huh? Good for you, sweetie. It wouldn't be a cookie show if you weren't taking tastes of something. Oh, come here. Mwah. Caitlin, oh my gosh. So is the lemon glaze, Caitlin, on the zucchini bread or the zucchini cookies? And like what else? Are they chocolate zucchini cookies or do you really taste that zucchini? I'm curious. Oh, Caitlin says hi, Catherine.
Hi.
All right, so we're stirring this up really, really well. And the kids can attest to the times where we have made cookies and we have not stirred this up as well as we could. What happens to some of those cookies?
They don't work out.
No, how do they not work out?
They just they spread out way too much.
Yes.
And they don't look like cookies.
No, they look kind of like sad, yeah, kind of flooded, out of control. And sometimes it is good to be out of control, but a lot of times it's good to be right in the middle. Okay, so hold on one second, my darling. Thank you. Okay, you want to turn this on number 2 for us? Again, we're going to do the 15 and 15. No, you want to do it with me? We'll do it together. 1, 2. Good. Thank you. So once again, these are going. Ooh. Oh, interesting. A plain sugar cookie with shredded zucchini. That sounds good. And Caitlin, knowing that you have a rice allergy, a wheat allergy, forgive me, that you have a wheat allergy, are those gluten-free cookies? And if they are, maybe you would share the recipe with all of us, because that could be amazing. We need to get you up from Florida so that you can come and be a part of the show.
Yummy.
I know. All right, so we're gonna do this for a little bit more. Oh, yeah, I understand. We all have those recipes that we had before when we didn't realize we couldn't have wheat or gluten. All right, here, this is fall in a bowl. This is our wonderful butterscotch chips. I was just part of a really fun chat maybe a week or 2 ago on our Milwaukee gluten-free group, and someone was asking about what butterscotch chips are gluten-free, and the Guittard brand, which is what we use, and that's Guittard, which can be a little bit of a hard word to spell, but it's just a wonderful quality. Oh, Caitlin, I would love for you to share the recipe so we can tweak it. We want those to have back in your repertoire as well as other people's. All right, so here with the, when we put the chips in, we only had to mix it for about 15 seconds. Again, what we're looking for is as little mixing as possible because we want a thicker, yes, my darling, go right ahead. Because we want...
Save some of that for me.
Andrew, I promise we will. Cameraman needs to be well fed also. All right, it's always good just to take one big scoop through, make sure everything is still, really incorporated, and it is. Ooh, look at that.
Nom.
All right, Catherine, do you endorse this? Are you liking this? On your nose and on your cheeks, my darling.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's good. Then you have a snack for later.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do our pans.
Face snack.
Yeah. Ooh, can I sneak in here? All right. Now this is a non-stick pan, but with most cookies, especially gluten-free ones, You really should put down some parchment paper because they need, it's much easier to get them off, to get the cookies off, and we always want to be gentle with them. All right. Now, while I'm doing this, I am going to ask you to please visit our YouTube channel and become a subscriber. Let's get this out of the way so you can see something. Always a little excitement there. And please tap on that bell so you can get our notifications. One of the exciting aspects is if we have 1,000 followers on YouTube, we can start streaming on YouTube also. And you probably could be the proud person who like is number 22 or 23. We are making progress. All right, so you're gonna fill these up. You are gonna bake them, and you are gonna enjoy the heck out of them. Now, while we go and pretend these are baking, okay? And we're gonna try these. I do wanna show you something really fun here on our counter. We have not had these on our counter before. Andrew, would you share? Look at all these square terminals. We are going to be using these at our festival at Bayview Bash in Milwaukee. We're going to be on KK and Logan. We are right at the corner of Kinnickinnick and Logan. We're right next to one of the beer tents, so you can't miss us. And we would love to serve you gluten-free funnel cakes and fried cheese curds and fried mozzarella sticks, as well as chicken nuggets, hamburgers, hot dogs, and plus it would just be wonderful to see you. There's so many of us that we correspond back and forth. Just to put a name to a face would just be so delightful. It would really make my day. Sarah, yes, I really think that if Catherine wants to take a day off from being a tester, we would love for you to fill in because I bet you would do a great job. So let's look at these cookies. Ooh, look at them.
That was yummy.
Nice and brown just around the edges, but a little still perfect in the middle.
Do I have stuff on my face still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah.
Mine. The other one's yours.
Caramel, butter, tender but with a little crunch from the oat. You will love these.
Yummy.
I hope you'll make them a part of a new fall tradition in your family and in your household. And if there are other recipes you'd like us to tweak as well, let us know. We would love to work on them. And most importantly, please keep being you. You are a wonderful gift to this world. And we hope that you have a wonderful week. And please never compromise on being you. Take care.